director of photography. So basically the sister said that we don't see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we see the signs of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ulama say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has two books that show the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Kitab al-Maqru' wal-Kitab al-Manzur. So the written book, which is the Quran, and it can be read, and you also have the seen book, the open book, which is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when I read, for example, in the Quran, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about himself and he appeals to the intellect. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks to us through his creation. So when you look around and you see the sun and the moon and the stars, when you see the human eye, when you see the human heart and the kidney and so on and so forth, this is also the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he's telling us in the Quran, walk around and look and see the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will know that I exist and I'm in charge. Right? So this is the meaning of the Kitab al-Maqru' and Kitab al-Manzur. One of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Zahiru wal-Batinu. Right? So Al-Batin is the one that you cannot see. We cannot see. We're not equipped in this life to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why when Musa alayhi salam asked in Surah A'raf, Rabbi arini anzur ilayk, Ya Allah, make yourself visible to me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Lan tarani, you are not able to see me. So basically Allah can be seen, but Musa alayhi salam is not able to see him in this life. But in the next life, we'll be equipped in Jannah to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ. People will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannah. And there are authentic ahadith in Bukhari and Muslim and so on and so forth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-batin, and we cannot see him. But he is also al-zahir. He is evident. You can see him. Like when you see the galaxies and the sun and the moon and the star and the different creation of Allah, the butterfly, the fish, the humans, everything that Allah created, this is a sign that he exists, right? So it's very evident from his creation that there is an intelligent designer in this world, right? And I always ask, like, atheists, for example, they say, well, we can't see God because simply he doesn't exist. So we tell them, well, what is more sophisticated, your human eye or the most sophisticated Sony camera made in Japan? They say the human eye is millions of times more sophisticated, more advanced than the most sophisticated camera that humans have ever created. So if this is the case, how come that it would be ridiculous and foolish to say that the camera came from nothing, whereas the human eye came without a designer? Doesn't make any sense, because this is more sophisticated. It has to have a designer. Al-Arab, يعني Badawi, رجل Badawi, before Islam was asked, كيف عرفت الله? How do you know that Allah exists? And he says, when I walk around in the desert, and if I see the dung from the camel or from the sheep, I know that the sheep was here. And when I walk around in the desert and I see footprints, I know that a human being walked here. But he said, when I look up and I see the sun and the moon and the stars, isn't this a proof that there is a creator? Right? Like if you see a footprint, you know that someone walked there. But when you see the galaxies, the sun and the moon and the stars and the human being and the fish and the different creation, there's no way in the world this came about by chance. Like, all these particles and all these things, they came together and the fish turned into a dinosaur and no. There has to be an intelligent designer in this world. Another example, and khalas, we'll move to the next question.